Gary Lineker.
Mass murder of thousands of children is probably something that we should have a little opinion on.
But the BBC as a whole needs to be impartial about it.
Why? It needs to be factual.
It needs to be impartial about a conflict, doesn't it? And it's hard.
Does it have to be? It wasn't impartial about Ukraine and Russia.
And you might say that
Why does it have to be impartial about... I understand if it's partial about our government and things in this country and everything like that, but something that's going on that far away, why does it...
Spoke with the BBC on many topics, including...
Because the Israeli position is that what is happening in Gaza, and by the way, I'm not here as an advocate of the Israeli government, but the Israeli position is that what is happening in Gaza is a response to the slaughter and capture of innocent Israelis on October the 7th. And
which was awful, which was truly awful.
And that full context needs to be there when discussing what's going on.
But that's not the full context, is it? Because the full context starts way before October the 7th, doesn't it?
It sounds like you think the BBC is in a complete mess on impartiality.
No, I don't think the BBC is in a mess. I think the BBC it's very difficult for the BBC. I think the BBC generally does a really good job of it, but it's not always easy. I think facts are the most important thing that they, it's like that old thing, isn't it? If it's raining outside, you don't need someone's opinion to say it's not raining. What you want to see is actually what is the weather outside.
Journalist Owen Jones would react to this interview.
A few things. Amol Rajan said the BBC was required to offer context. After all, in 2023 alone, prior to 7th October, 240 Palestinians, including more than 40 children, had been killed. Thousands and thousands of Palestinians had been killed. For example, between 2008 and 2023, obviously going beyond that, before that, but we're talking about vast numbers of people. And over the years, tens of thousands of innocent Palestinians had been detained, kidnapped. Not just those I'm talking about who put through kangaroo military courts with trials headed by judges who also happen to be Israeli soldiers, with those trials lasting minutes and being conducted in Hebrew, including with confessions signed under pressure and indeed often under torture, with reports, indeed testimonies of sexual abuse as well as torture coming from children, as Save the Children revealed in a report before 7th of October. The conviction rate is over 99%.
Lineker, who worked for BBC's Match of the Day program for some 26 years, was ousted from his position.
I felt sorry for the refugees, and that seemed to be some kind of crime that you...
It's astonishing when you put it like that. I don't
quite get it, because imagine if it was London.
Yeah.
And we were under attack or something. We had to flee, and you had to try and get a boat across the channel, and members of your family would die en route. And to go to the extremes to escape some kind of awful regime that you're in.
Yes.
I just don't understand. I mean, it's a difficult to deal with, and how many come in and who doesn't, and whether we should house refugees, etc., look after them. And there's always issues about that, but I do not understand how you can not have a degree of sympathy for their incredibly awful plight.
And what was this about?
Yesterday, Gary Lineker was stood down from presenting tonight's Match of the Day after he tweeted that the government was using language reminiscent of 1930s Germany about their policy banning people from illegally arriving on boats in the UK earlier this week.
For that post, he would be suspended. Wrote the New York Times, the incident ignited a firestorm within and around the BBC, and even Mr. Lineker was reinstated not long after.
Ever since FIFA chose Qatar back in 2010, the smallest nation to have hosted football's greatest competition has faced some big questions. From accusations of corruption in the bidding process to the treatment of migrant workers who built the stadiums, where many lost their lives. Homosexuality is illegal here. Women's rights and freedom of expression are in the spotlight. Also, the decision 6 years ago to switch the World Cup from summer to winter. Against that backdrop, there's a tournament to be played, one that will be watched and enjoyed around the world. Stick to football, say FIFA. Well, we will, for a couple of minutes at least.
When catching wind of Foreign Secretary James Cleverly basically stating on Twitter that the traveling LGBTQ+ fans must be respectful when attending the World Cup, Lineker put rather bluntly, "Whatever you do, don't do anything gay. Is that the message?
He was found to have broken BBC rules last year over a tweet about the then Foreign Secretary urging Premier League teams to boycott the Champions League final in Russia. Will her party hand back their donations from Russian donors, he asked?
A fair question. Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStrom Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you. He also approved of what you just saw. Just Stop Oil protesting at different sporting events. He would tweet, "If it's not already too late, history will look back very favorably on these people. I concur." In November of 2024, per the BBC's news division, Lineker was open to staying at the network. The thing is, the company did not offer him a new contract. So at that point, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, conservative media would erupt with the interview that you saw at the start of this piece. As The Guardian's Max Rushton put it, BBC impartiality views to one side. Do we expect people in sport to have no view on the outside world? They are still humans, being humans in the world like everyone else. Surely the key is balance and timing. Well put. Elaborating further, there is something beyond his salary that infuriates his critics, wrote The Independent's Jim White. For them, he is too outspoken on issues outside the game. Stay in your lane, they shout as he makes his liberal views known on social media. I don't even know if I would call this liberal views, to be honest with you. I don't even think the liberals, at least I can only speak stateside, would view some of these positions favorably. I think, for the most part, many who identify as a Bill Maher type, a centrist lib, would say that Lineker went too far. Not necessarily that he should shut up and dribble per se, or shut up and whatever, depending on the sport of an outspoken athlete. But it would be more so that they distance themselves from comments such as these. Because the truth hurts on many fronts. And what I believe happened, this is just my opinion, is that Gary Lineker was a problem for some of the people who align with conservative causes at the BBC, and they wanted to get away with the problem. Thus they did. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.